The World Wanderer Boxing Channel is just to tell you a little bit about the channel. Is a channel dedicated to the boxing fan, dedicated to those that want to come and discuss professional boxing in all its forms and glory internationally. It is a friendly, it is a fan friendly site. We are not here to call anyone casuals or to mock anyone's lack of knowledge. Those that sort of don't know a great deal about the sport that we will call mainstream, not casuals, mainstream boxing viewers, who are new to the sport or don't know so much of boxing history, will be able to learn from those who are, more experienced in the sport. Those that are more experienced will find other, hopefully find other like-minded peers who, want to share their thoughts and opinions on boxing. We're not here to pretend to be journalists. We're fans of boxing who, whose experiences and knowledge of boxing, it varies. Um, all too often, these sites are, have guys on there who are pretending to be journalists, speaking as if they're journalists, speaking as if they have inside info, speaking as if they have information about things that they don't. And really, a lot of ridiculous things circulate amongst these channels. So this channel was dedicated; it's been brought about to be dedicated for fans of boxing of all sorts, and in terms of international prospects and the top professional fighters. And it's a very exciting era for boxing. So in the wake of Anthony Joshua's latest win, the Tyson Fury Deontay Wilder fight that's been set up. We have young prospects like Devin Haney in America, Javante Davis in America, Teofimo Lopez in the States. We have, Anthony Yard in the UK. We have Daniel Dubois in the UK. The re-emergence or the sort of comeback, if it as it were, of Amir Khan, where that will go, whether the Kell Brook fight will happen. George Groves' upcoming fight. So there's a great deal to discuss in the world of boxing. Mikey Garcia, will he fight Spence? Will he fight Lomachenko? Will Lomachenko come up to 135? What's happening with Loma? He's getting older. He's that it seems that they're struggling to find a fight, someone for him to fight. Will it be? Will it probably be someone like Chocolatito, who's like, as far as my opinion is concerned, someone who's very, very, very much overrated and exposed. But we know from experience that these are the fighters that they like to put in front of Loma, who can do no more than beat the fighters that are put in front of him. And obviously, since his win against Linares and in going up against Linares, one can say that the plaudits lauded at him are credible to an extent. But again, to prove yourself in this game, you have to move up. You have to beat champions who are a greater weight than you, and that's what all the greats have done. All of the greats throughout the history of boxing. So there's a great deal to discuss. And again, the forum is that if you disagree with an opinion that I have, or that my guests have, or that contributors have, then you're not going to be blocked. You're not going to be called a casual. You're not going to be mocked, and there's not going to be sounds played down at the on you at live chats or anything like that. Your opinion, if it's a qualified opinion and a good opinion that's based on some knowledge of the sport, or is going to be respected. All comers to this site will be respected. So please hit like and subscribe. Come along. World Wanderer Boxing is a new. We're new, so I'm going to be looking for subscribers. I want people to subscribe. I'm always active in the chat forums and the response forums of other boxing sites. So maybe I've chatted to you, but please come along to World Wanderer Boxing site. Hit like, hit subscribe, join in the discussion, add things that you want to discuss. See if we can build a momentum and a gathering of people to subscribers and listeners and contributors, so that we can have great discussions on boxing on a regular basis. As there is going to be there are some great fights coming. I mean, will Floyd come back and fight Manny Pacquiao? I doubt it. I don't believe it. But that's just my opinion. will Javonta Davis leave TMT? Devin Haney, has been trained by TMT for how long, but has decided not to stay there. What's actually going on at Money Mayweather Promotions? And they're calling themselves the best ever, but they can't seem to retain the guys or keep the guys that are happy. Is it a clash of personalities? Who knows? But what we do know is that boxing is becoming once again a mainstream sport, especially driven by people like Anthony Joshua and Eddie Hearn. But at the same time as becoming a mainstream sport, are we seeing boxing come more like WWE in the sense of these matches that don't have a great deal of significance, boxers being quite inactive and trying to develop their personalities to the point of becoming pantomime stars? So, I mean, again, as a boxing purist, I'm torn. I'm torn on the whole mainstream idea of boxing. I think it's necessary for boxing to survive, and it's necessary to have great events, and necessary so that people take an interest in the sport that beyond just your boxing purist. But what damage does it do to the sport in terms of the credibility of matches, in terms of the standard of matches that we're seeing, in terms of the standard of fights that we're seeing? When every fighter, fan, and but basically anyone around the sport fancies themselves an expert and a promoter and a manager and a contract negotiator. It's like I can't remember an era. I've been watching boxing for over 30 years, and I can't remember an era in heavyweight, especially in heavyweight boxing, where I've heard boxers talk more about contracts on TV than they talk about actually the fights. It's crazy. So, you know, these merchandising and marketing machines that the boxers are trying to be, does it fit in with the sport? Does it fit in with, as I said, there's much to discuss. I'm excited to speak with fellow fans of the sport and hear their opinions and just create a forum and a dialogue. And so hit like, hit subscribe, send in messages there that things you want to discuss and questions you want to ask, and let's just get this party started. World Wanderer Boxing, let's go, champ. Cheers, bye bye.